सकनाववतु सकनौ भुनक्तु सक वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं तत्पुरुषं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सत्सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोतीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेशरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्र मरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवै वेदै साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदै गायन्ति यं सामगा। ध्यानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः। नमस्कारं मामा।
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. I will read the 20 virtues given in chapter number 13. अमानित्वमडम्बित्वम् अहिंसा शान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरणविश्वङ्कः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु वैचान् अनन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यततोऽन्यथा. At least we should try to remember the 20 virtues. After all, it is spread over 5 slokas. The last two values is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. This is value number 19 and 20. What is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam? What is Adhyatmam? Adhyatmam is concerning myself. Adhyatma, concerning myself, self. Adhyatmak Jnana Nityatvam. Jnana means vichara, inquiry, contemplation. So we should contemplate about the truth about ourselves, the reality of ourselves. Today we don't know who we are. We are thinking that we are this mortal creature undergoing all the sufferings of the world. So you have to get lifted from this. That is why Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Nityatvam means you should be constantly reminded of your position. Constantly reminded. Nityatvam. That means all the time, Atma-jnanam or Brahma-jnanam or the truth about yourself should be in your mind all the time. It is very difficult because our mind has a knack of going toward the sense organs. So it will not allow you to stay with the Atma. In the 6th chapter, he has said, Uddared Atmanatmanam Atmanam Avasadhyede Atmaiva Riburatmanaha Atmaiva Bandhu. Mind is your enemy as well as your friend. And again in the same chapter, Shanaihi Shanaihi Uparamet Buddhya Dhriti Grihitaya Atmasamstam Manakritva Na Kinchidabi Chintayet. Atmasamstam Manakritva Na Kinchidabi Chintayet. That means one should always, the truth about myself, my realization, that should be there all the time. That is called a nityatvam. That will be possible only if you are able to control your mind and intellect. Shamaha damaha. We have talked about this in few chapters, but here the importance of shama dama, then you are getting chitta shuddhi, then you do upasana, concentration, then you come eligible for Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means comprising of 3 components: Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. These are the 3 sections of Jnana Yoga. Shravanam means listening from a acharya. And that listening should be how it should be done. Systematic, consistent study of Vedantic scriptures. Systematic, consistent study of Vedantic scriptures for a length of time under the guidance of a competent acharya. That is called Nityatvam. So you cannot just talk, pray for about 5 minutes in the morning, maybe 5 minutes in the evening, but that will not take you to jnana. That may probably give you some mental happiness, but it will not take you to jnana. So that means Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam is one value which is to be easily practiced, provided we are able to control our mind and intellect. Shamaha and Damaha. That is Shanaihi, Uparamed Buddhya, Gritihi Hidya. With a firm hand, take hold of the mind. Atmasamstam Manakritva. Atmasamstam Manakritva means mind should take protection under the Adhyatma Jnanam. Then the mind will not go away from that place. That's why he says, Atma Samstam Manakritva na kinchirabi chintayet. Nothing to be talked of. Only thinking will be about Bhagavan. All the time now, like, they got Akanta Nama Bhajana. If they start in the morning, they will go on continuously for 24 hours. Akanta Nama. For this, he has already given some of the values. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. What is Vivikta Desha Sevitvam? You should practice to stay alone. Today is not possible because our mind wants company. Our mind wants attraction. My want diversion. So the mind is so agitated and erratic. You cannot live in a solitude. But solitude is one of the virtues described here. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Aratir Janasam Sadi. You get away from the crowded place. You cannot say, I will do a group meditation. I will take 4 of my friends and go to a lonely place and start meditating. That is not possible. And that is also not called a meditation. In the sixth value, Amanitvam Adambitvam Ahimsa Shantirajyavam Acharyopasanam. What is Acharyopasanam? You have to go near an Acharya, Guru, and learn from him the Shastras with a proper learning. That is why it's called Acharyopasanam. And that is one of the virtues. So if you analyze each of the virtues are contributing for your growth. Growth of what? For Jnanam, Sadhana. Now, Krishna has discussed these disciplines. Total 20 disciplines. And the 20th one is Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Tattva means the truth. Who am I? Jnanam means what is the benefit I will get? See, for everything, each and everything, if somebody says you do this work, you will say immediately, what will I get out of this? Then only you will work. If the result is not promising, you will not attempt to do that work. This happens in most of the offices. That's why they want incentives. They want bonus. They want some free. So for this only, Tattva Jnanartha Nitya, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Darshanam means we should have contemplation. If the end result is going to give me permanent happiness, mukti, liberation from this world, then that is worth attempting. But for that, you should have a preparation. What is the preparation? Out of the 20 values, it can be divided into 19 and 1. The last value is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. That is Jnana Yoga. But before Jnana Yoga, you should have cultivated these 19 values. What has been discussed earlier. Now, in medical parlance, you go to your doctor and ask the doctor, my stomach is paining or my head is paining. And the doctor will say, he will examine him and prescribe some medicines. So if you consume the medicine, that is a direct benefit. That is Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. But doctor also says that if the medicine, what I am prescribing, is to be effective, then you should follow certain regulations in your dietary habits. So it's called patyam in our district, patyam. So that means if the medicine has to be effective, then you should follow the patyam. You will not follow the patyam, but you will take the medicine. Then you can't blame the doctor that the medicine is not effective at all. And the doctor says, I have given the same medicine to so many people, it is effective. Because they are following to the, sticking to the patyam. Similarly here, if I have to get the end result, my self-realization, Atma-Jnanam, I should have these 19 values, 19 disciplines. So that is called preparatory discipline. So preparatory means that you cannot ignore these. You have to take it seriously. And what is the benefit you will get? You will get moksha, liberation. Or you will be eligible for Jnana Yoga. And what is Jnana Yoga? After you have Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, then you know Aham Brahmasmi, Tati Tvam Asi. So that is the benefit. But we are far away from the benefit. We are only looking for immediate benefit. Another example is, you are invited for a lunch. You go for the lunch, and the host has prepared all the dishes, and then they serve you the food, and you consume it in about half an hour. And it was very tasty, and he was very happy. But at the same time, he should think how much time the host has taken to prepare this food. It is not easy to prepare the food. Preparation of the food takes more time. And that is this 19 virtues. So these 19 virtues will take, if you want to acquire these virtues, you will take more time. But you have to put consistent effort. Thinking the benefit. What is the benefit? I will be liberated. I will get moksha. Today I am a miserable fellow. I am scared of everything. I am worried about my security. I have enough money, but that is not going to give me any comfort. So that means I should, and we are seeing here in Nananani itself, if you want to suffer and undergo these sufferings, no problem. Please do. But there is a way for you to get out of this samsara. So that for that, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Now, somebody says, he has gone for the lunch, he has finished the lunch, and he also understood that the host had taken a lot of time to prepare the dish, and the preparation took hell of a lot of time, but consuming the food was in no time. But the fellow says, I will eat the food first. I mean, the preparation has not been done. He comes and says, I will eat the food. And that is not going to help. Because this preparation and consuming the food is together one step. It is now two separate steps. Suppose that fellow says, I will do one thing, I will eat now, I will prepare later. Is it possible? So there is an order. That is why you should have these 19 virtues cultivated and you should own them, and then only you go for jnana. So jnana yogyata to jnanam to moksha. That is the route. You cannot just go and get moksha straight away. There are steps, and the initial steps are very hard to achieve. Everybody knows the hardship of achieve. Just for attending 1 hour class or wherever it is, not mine, anywhere you go, just attend 1 hour lecture, that is not going to give you jnana. Even for learning the listening skill, it requires hell of a lot of time. At least 3 times, 4 times, 5 times you listen to the same lecture. Maybe something you will come to know how to listen. Listening is an art. So these 20 values Krishna has declared and said this is called jnanam. That's what he says in the second line. Etat jnanam iti proktam. Etat jnanam iti proktam. These 20 values I have discussed. There are some more values, but here he has picked up 20, and this is jnana. What is Arjuna's question? Arjuna was asking for kshetram, kshetrajnaha, jnanam, jneyam, prakritihi, purushaha. 6 questions, technical terms he has asked. So this is the third term called jnana. Jnanam is jnana sadhana. So if you are ready with these sadhanas, then you are eligible for jnana yogyata. And from jnanam you will get jnana. That is, from jnana yoga you will become a liberated person. You will become a jivan mukti or videka mukti. For anything in our life, suppose I want to learn swimming. Learning swimming is not by reading books by various authors, swimmers and all that. No. You should have practice in water. I mean, you learn swimming, go and get yourself in the water and try to learn the art of swimming. No, I'm scared of water. It will drown me. How can you learn? And you have seen people, how nicely they float. So that floating practice requires hell of a lot of initial preparation. Initially, you may drink a few ounces of water while learning the swimming. But ultimately, you learn the art. So similarly, these 19, 20 values we can acquire. We have the capacity. That's why, as I told you, vivikta desha sevitvam aratir janasamsadi. That means today, most of the time, I cannot stay alone with myself. I want some company. I want some entertainment. I want my friends to come and discuss with me so many irrelevant matters, which is not going to contribute anything except wasting my energy. Because I got the energy because I have taken the food. But that energy has to be conserved and channelized in a particular manner so that, that energy can be utilized for channelizing to acquire this knowledge, jnana. So one has to take very seriously this part. I will just read out one article, one item from Nokyur Venkatraman's Gita book. Very interestingly, he has written. Bhagavan has spoken about staying in solitude, which is very, very difficult for all of us. What should a yogi do in solitude? Our question also. He should engage in the study of scriptures such as Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, the Bhagavata, and so on. He should not waste time brooding over worldly matters. That's what we are doing today. Worldly matters. The mind should be constantly employed in japa, dhyana, and samadhi. This is adhyatma jnana nityatvam. Steadiness in absorbing self-knowledge. First of all, we should have a goal. What do you want to do in life? Simply live like others, like animals. I should have a goal. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That we call as purushartha. A yogi chooses solitude to do consistent and constant contemplation on the Atman. That is called nididhyasana. In nididhyasana, we are talking only about Atma, not any other things. For that, you should be completed Shravanam and Mananam. Such constant reflection leads to uninterrupted meditation on the self, and eventually the state of firm abidance in the self, sahaja nirvikalpa samadhi, happens. So these three ways, vivikta desha sevitvam, aratir janasamsadhi, adhyatma jnana nityatvam, finding joy in solitude, not being attached to the community of people, and being and well established in spiritual practices are the medicines for the disease of samsara. Especially in old age, after vanaprastha, they have come here as vanaprasthas. We should be able to enjoy the loneliness, stay separately, not worried about the relatives, relations, companions, friends. They will all be there, but they will also one day go. Some people will go before you, some will go after you. So we should have this meditative attitude to enjoy the solitude and enjoy the old age. Never depend on others. Don't worry about the security. Bhagavan says, Ananyas chintayan somam yedana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam bhagamyaham. Provided you surrender 100% to Bhagavan, he will look after you. But we don't have the faith. That way, we do both. We amass enough amount of wealth for security purpose, but that security, to protect the security, you need security. So that is the situation today. So these 20 values have been beautifully explained. We should go over and over again and cultivate some of these values. And one of the main values is vairagyam, dispassion. And that vairagyam should come out of viveka shakti, discriminative power. So that means the mind and buddhi have to work together to get to this situation. So with this, the 20 values have been explained. Now, as I told you, that I want to have an open discussion. What you members have understood from these values, and what the benefit of these values. And if you do not cultivate these values, what are you losing? And how to improve your attain values because sadhana, jnana sadhana. So now most of you have attended all these 20 values. So I want some feedback, some so that it becomes encouraging for others also to acquire these values and go ahead. Now I have a few requests from some of the members, and whoever member is I am calling, please keep your video on so that people will be able to see you. And now Banu.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam lankum pankayate girim yatkrupa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. I think this sloka is apt for me to start with. Panivu, adakam, தற்பெருமையின்மை, துன்புறுத்தாமை, அகிம்சை, பொறுமை, நேர்மை, ஆசிரியரை வழிபடுதல், தூய்மை, விடாமுயற்சி, சுய கட்டுப்பாடு போன்றவை some of the virtues cherished by me for getting Atma Nanam, which is a very long way to go. I wish to take the two values. That is, one is equanimity, சமச்சித்தத்துவம். பிடித்தது பிடிக்காதது போன்ற விஷயங்களில் மனதை சமநிலையில் வைத்துக் கொள்வது. Another one is absence of, just now Kalyana Sundaram just told, it is absence of sense of ownership in doing. That is anahankara. See, when I go down in my memory lane, I notice that I was not affected. I mean, after attending this Gita study class or something, when I was not able to attend one of my best friends' function, which I wished very much to attend. In spite of no other important engagement and all, but otherwise, I would have felt very sad or something, but I was able to take it at ease. I didn't feel that, I let me be fine like that. And this absence of sense of ownership, நாம் செய்யும் செயல்களே மனம் வாக்கு செயல் எல்லாவற்றில் ஈடுபடுவது எல்லாம் கிருஷ்ணார்ப்பணம் என்று ஈடுபடுவது, that is காயேன வாச்சா மனசா, everybody knows. புத்தியாத்மா வாசகலம் நாராயணீத சமர்ப்பயாமி. அந்த இதை எனக்கு ஒரு திருவிளையாடல ஒரு இது எனக்கு ஞாபகம் வரும். 2 lines. இசைத்தமிழ் நீ செய்த மகாலிங்கம் பாடுறது, இசைத்தமிழ் நீ செய்த அரும் சாதனை, நீ இருக்கையே எனக்கு ஏன் பெரும் சோதனைன்னு சொல்லி பாடுறப்போ அவ ஒய்ஃப் சொல்லுவா, நான் என்று உங்களுக்கு எதற்கு எதுவும் அவர் பெருமாள் கிட்ட சிவன் கிட்ட எதுக்கிறப்போ why should you think that you will be facing the best பாடகார் எதுக்கு பண்றீங்கன்னு சொல்லி she used to say. I felt that was very apt, and which was enumerated by Kalyana Sundaram ji also, which I thought. So with this Samachittatvam and equanimity, I feel that, as he told, it will lead us to go to Atmananam.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Now, Varshini.
Hari Om, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. This chapter deals with Mahavakya Vichara. Another part deals with values or ethics. In our culture, the philosophy is never separate from values. Both go hand in hand. The Vedanta will not work if one doesn't follow an ethical life. Only with ethics will an individual go through a transformation. Another theme Krishna emphasized in this chapter is spiritual inquiry under the guidance of a guru. We are all very fortunate, and Lord Krishna blessed us with gurus like Ramanathan Mama and Natarajan Mama. Chapter 13 emphasizes the need to discriminate between self, Kshetrajna, and the not self, Kshetra. From 8th to 12th verse, Krishna talks about some important values which prepare the mind for self-knowledge. They are humility, simplicity, non-violence, forbearance, honesty, service to the teacher, purity, steadfastness, self-control, detachment from sense objects, absence of egoism, constant awareness of the misery in birth, death, disease, etc., dispassion, non-identification with son, wife, house, etc., being always equanimous in desirable and undesirable situations, unswerving devotion to the Lord, seclusion, non-indulgence in people's company, constant self-inquiry, and not losing sight of the fruit of self-knowledge. These are preparatory disciplines or jnana yogyata. I would like to take 3 values. Of course, all the values are very important, but these 3 I feel most important. Vivekam. I should diagnose the problem very clearly. The problem is wrong identification of myself. My misconception about myself is the problem. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says the problem is you, the solution is you. Krishna says self-ignorance is the problem, then the solution is self-knowledge. The second one is vairagya. Self-knowledge should be the top priority. Money or entertainment cannot be one's life purpose. Everything else are the means to the goal of self-knowledge. This is prioritization or vairagyam. The third one is bhakti. I will come to this vairagyam because this is the most important one. You must have the grace of the Lord for this grand pursuit of life. Always seek the help of the Lord. Even to get a proper guru, you need the grace of the Lord. Now coming back to the value, vairagyam. Normally they say vairagyam means detachment, dispassion, or renunciation in the context of worldly desires and attachments. It involves cultivating mindset of non-attachment, recognizing the impermanence of material things and experiences, and redirecting focus towards inner growth and spiritual pursuit. Bhajagovindam says, Sarva parigraha bhogatyagraha kasya sukham na karoti viragaha. Vairagya is not running away from life in the name of detachment. Being totally in the moment and participating fully in life, but at the same time, remain happy with yourself without depending on objects, people, or situations. So Vairagya is the basis of everything in life. It is the essence of this entire journey of life. Sukartaha sarva bhutanam mataha sarvaha pravrittayah. The study of Vairagya Prakarana in Yoga Vasishta speaks about 2 kinds of Vairagyam. One is a Karana Vairagya, Vairagya on account of some misery. The second one is Viveka Purvaka Vairagya, Vairagya on account of discrimination between real and unreal. Now, the mind of a man of the former type is simply waiting for a chance to get back the things that were given up. But the other type, who has given up the objects on account of Viveka, will have spiritual advancement. Sadhana without Vairagya goes to waste. Intense or Tivra Vairagya is necessary for moksha. There are 2 most important examples for this, that is King Janaka and Prahlad. Now, what are the enemies of Vairagya? Affection. Hope and anticipation are opposite of Vairagya and Tyaga. For example, when a bee finds that its feet are stuck in the honey, it slowly licks its feet several times and then flies away with joy. Owing to Raga and Moha, our mind is sticking and clinging to this body and children honey. Through Vairagya and meditation, fly away from this cage of flesh and bone to the source. which is Brahman or absolute. Another example, we always say, no, Vairagya, following Vairagyam is very difficult, very difficult. It's very difficult for a child to wean, but the mother applies some neem paste to the nipple, the child is weaned quickly. We must get some neem paste for the mind to get it weaned from sensual objects. Sit in solitary room. That is why Krishna says one of the values is seclusion. Think of the miseries of this earthly life, like disease, death, old age, sorrow, failure, even mosquito bites. Think daily. This is the first sadhana, then you can develop Vairagya. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. Attraction for sense objects which will gradually vanish. See, Vedanta doesn't want you to renounce the world. It wants you to change your mental attitude and give up this false, illusory I-ness, ahamta, and mindness, that is mamata. You must remove these two poisonous fangs of the mind. Then you can allow the mind to go wherever it likes. But you will have always samadhi only. Now I conclude this with this sloka. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Dur Nigraham Chalam Abhyasi
Nigraham chalam.
Mano Dur Nigraham Chalam
Yeah.
Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Dur Nigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grishyate. Hari Om Mama. Thank you so much.
Oh yes, good, very good explanation. In Bhajagovindam, there is one sloka. Vayasi gade kaha kama vikaraha, shushke nire kaha kasaraha, chine vitte kaha parivaraha, jnate tatve kaha samsaraha. Jnate tatve ka samsaraha. That means once you have this jnanam, there is no samsara. That means you are free from this central, some materialistic life. Jnate tatve kaha samsaraha. Like chine vitte kaha parivaraha. If you have nothing, you're a poor man at the old age, I don't think any of your relations will be near you, because they have to spend their money. Chine vitte kaha parivaraha. Vayasi gade kama vikaraha. I mean, once you become old, automatically your sense attractions goes on coming down. Vayasi gade kaha kama vikaraha, shushke nire kaha kasaraha. When there is a dry climate outside, there won't be any water in that pool. So, this only shows that when we are active now, we should be using the life for our development purpose. That is, we should have a goal, first of all. Purushartha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Once you have this Purushartha, then you will go towards that goal. Nowadays, we don't have a goal. Morning till evening, the life is guiding us, not we are guiding the life. So that has to change. And these values are, take any one value, go deep into it, discuss what are the benefits. If I don't have, what do I lose? At what prayojanam, utility for me, and how to acquire these values. So this is the way of contemplation we have to think. Now I ask Sri Mahalingam.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Atma Jnanam or self-realization, as we call it, is something one tries to attain by establishing divine connection. this is done by raising our level beyond our physical being to the higher self. When we accept that everything that happens in this world is the will of the God and recognize that everything happens for a reason as per His wish, we tend to realize the Supreme. For instance, the key to perform any action effectively is the recognition of hand of divine in doing the action when it is done with the attitude of Ishwararpana. Likewise, while receiving the result, it should be considered as Ishwara Prasada, which we have been almost in all the chapters we have come across this concept. Roland Hayes, a renowned African American musician, used to spend considerable time before each concert by surrendering himself before the divine power, and he attributed his success to the divine support and strength. He viewed his singing as a gift and a way to connect with something universal and used to attribute this to the higher power. Now, if we identify ourselves with the body, the vision of oneness is impossible. Through right vision and knowledge, we can identify with the self. But how do we attain this knowledge? There are some prerequisites which are categorized in the 20 virtues that we saw in chapter 13 that leads us to jnana. Knowledge emanates through bhakti, and that has its genesis in the purification of mind. In Ishavasya Upanishad, it is said, the sufferings we encounter in this life are because we give importance to superficial things, the benefits of which are very transient in nature. Wherever there is superficiality, there is impermanence. It stresses the fact that God is all pervasive and everything in this world is the manifestation of the Supreme Being. Some of the virtues which we learned, like being humble and not seeking gratification, maintaining equanimity by being calm in adversity, constant pursuit of knowledge, unwavering devotion to divine, cannot be attained simply by learning. These traits or qualities need to be cultivated, which requires complete commitment through constant practice and rigorous internal training. That is where, in my view, meditation comes into help. Meditation will help in developing a life state to embrace all these virtues. The practice of meditation frees one from all afflictions. Renouncing selfish desires and expectations will help us control the senses. And these are not abstract statements. This is a process, in my view. With consistent and repeated effort, and through patience and perseverance, the mind needs to be trained day in and day out if we have to make headway in our spiritual journey. And in this regard, I think we are thankful to our gurus, Ramanathan Mama and Natarajan Mama, in navigating us, in helping us navigate in this endeavor of ours. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharajam. Now, Srinivasan.
Hari Om. Hari Om, Anna. I would like to deal with two things which is coming in the end of the sloga, like the bhakti on the God, that is called Abhisarani and Anabhishwangaha. அது எங்க இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுதுன்னா ஆத்ம ஞானம்னு வரும்போது I interestingly read a small article in Tatvaloka, which I thought I should bring it here. A person arrived from Lahore to Ramana Maharishi, and he says, Swami, can you show me God? That devotee, when he came into Ramana Maharishi, Maharishi said, can you show me God? When Maharishi said, no, but I can make you God. Or rather, I can show you that you are already that which you are seeking. That is the Atma Jnana. How does this happen is what he's been explained by Maharishi. It is actually coming in Ulladu Narpadu of Ramana Maharishis, where the two Aikyam, that is Atmam Paramatma Aikyam, the I is calling, the self I, which is to realize God, when it knows that its real own nature finds fulfillment, and that is where the liberation takes place and the Aikyam takes place. So this is what is very nearly explained. The purely the eternal Brahman, which is experienced in the heart, constantly is known as the I and I Aikyam, the I of selves, the Ahankara Boit Mamakaram and Vanda. எப்போ you become that, nothing else is given by the God. Nothing else is given. It is not. It is either done by my Purva Janma, இதனாலையும் பகவான் அருளாலும் கிடைத்ததுதான் எனக்கிட்ட இருக்குன்ற நம்பிக்கை வந்த உடனே என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, யூ ஸ்டார்ட் அந்த அபினவஸ்வங்கன்ற மமகாரமின்மை. ஏன்னா அகங்காரமின்மையிலேருந்து எப்படி மமகாரமின்மை வருதுன்றது ரொம்ப அழகா அந்த 13 ஸ்லோகத்தை சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அப்ப அந்த ரெண்டு ஆஸ்பெக்ட் மற்றும் I would like to deal with it, because now that when the Atmayanam arises, that how it can arise to become an Aikyam with the God is what has been explained now by understanding what is known as na ahankaram na mamakaram. So ahankaram என்னன்றது முன்னாலே எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணினா, நான் I would like to deal with only the asakti or abhishwanga uttradahadi nityam na samachitvam இஷ்டா. அப்ப மனைவி மக்கள் வீடு ஆகியவற்றை தனது என்ற அபிமானம், அங்குதான் அகங்காரம் இருக்கு. அது இல்லைன்னாக்கா எல்லாம் என்னது இல்ல, பகவான் கொடுத்தது, அதனாலதான் நான் எங்க இருக்கேன், நான் எல்லாம் பகவானோடது வந்ததுனாக்கா இவை எல்லாம் அவனருளால் வந்தவை என்று நினைத்தல் தான் பற்றின்மை. அப்ப என்ன ஆகும், அந்த பற்றின்மை போன உடனே பானு சொன்னாப்புல சுகம் துக்கம் விருப்பு வெறுப்பில் சமநிலை வந்துடுறான். அப்ப என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, how do you have that sort of இது, இப்போ என்னிடத்தில் என் உகப்புக்குரிய கைங்கரியம் யார்கிட்ட செய்யணும் அப்படின்னாக்கா, இந்த பக்தி யார்கிட்ட செய்ய போறேன் நானு, மை அனன்ய யோகேன பக்தி பிரவேசாராணி, அந்த பக்தி வருதம். சோ இது மமகாரம் போன உடனே என்ன ஆகுது, யூ ஆர் இன் எலிஜிபிலிட்டி, யூ ஆர் ஷேவிங் சம் சார்ட் ஆஃப் ஞானம், தென் யூ கெட்டிங் டு தட் த பரம பக்தி ஆர் பரஜானம்னா என்னன்னா பரபக்தி பரஜானம். which says now, என்னிடத்தில் என் உகப்புக்குரிய கைங்கரியத்தை தவிர வேறு எதையும் எண்ணாமல் அவன் ஒருவனையே தஞ்சமாக கொள்கின்ற சரணாகதி, அதாவது என்னையே பகவான் என்னையே உபாயமாகவும் உபயமாகவும் கொள்ளுதல். இந்த இடத்தில் அது அப்பதான் சொல்றான், எங்க அந்த தனி இடத்தில் நாடி மற்றவர்களெல்லாம் போகாம பண்றதுக்கு என்ன அர்த்தம் கேட்டாக்கா, அவனே உபாயம் அவனே உபேயம் என்று சரணம் அடைந்து எப்படிப்பட்ட பக்தி கொள்றோம்னாக்கா, ஆதிசங்கர் சொன்ன மாதிரி, ஆதிசங்கர் அவதாரி நாராயண பரக அவ்யக்யான் ஆதிகர்த்தா நாராயணோ விஷ்ணு வமனஸ்ய பரஸ்மனக பரமஸ்வன் பஷ்ய அபரக்ஷனார்த்தம் தேவக்கியம் வாசுதேவம் சேஷ கிருணிக இவை சம்பவ என்கிறார். அதுல என்ன சொன்னார்னா, தோன்றா நிலையில் உள்ள பிரகிருதியை காட்டிலும் மேலான நாராயணன் என்றும் உலகிற்கெல்லாம் ஆதிகர்த்தா நாராயணம் என்று அந்த அசைக்க முடியாத ஒரு நம்பிக்கை வந்துடுத்துன்னா, அதான் அந்த வைராக்கியத்துடைய ஃபைனல் டூல். அது வந்துடுத்துன்னா மனசு அந்த ஐ என்றது பகவானுடைய ஐக்கியமான உடனே யூ பிகம் சம் சார்ட் ஆஃப் தியான லோகத்திலேருந்து யூ ஆர் இந்த சமாதி லோகத்துக்கு நிலை போற அந்த அஷ்டாங்க யோகத்துடைய அல்டிமேட் ஸ்டெப்புக்கு வந்துடுறீங்க. அப்படி வரும்போதுதான் இந்த 20 குணங்களையும் ஒன்னா எடுத்துன்னு ஸ்டார்டிங் ஃப்ரம் யுவர் அனம்பித்வம் அமாமித்வம் ஆச்சாரிய உபாச எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்துட்டு ஒவ்வொன்னா ஆக்கியிருப்பே வரும்போது ஒவ்வொன்றுக்கும் ஐ எம் ஏபிள் டு ரிலேட் டு some of the Kural in Tirukkural, which I will take a little longer time, I don't want to take it. That I have seen that there are equality in Kural in each one of the subjects, starting from Aruludamai, Kollamai, Anbudamai, அப்புறம் வாய்மை, தன்னடக்கம், எல்லாத்திலுமே நான் பார்த்தேன் there is equality in Tirukkural. அழகா சொல்லியிருக்கார் எப்படிலாம் you will be able to, எதெல்லாம் அந்த குவாலிஃபிகேஷன் கொண்டு வருது, எதெல்லாம் டிஃபைன் பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்றதுக்கு ஃபைனலா அந்த பக்தியை பத்தி மாத்திரம் சொல்லிட்டு I would like to conclude, because இந்த பக்தின்றது வரும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா அனன்ய யோகம், ஸ்ரீ பகவானே எல்லாவற்றை காட்டிலும் சிறந்தவர், அவர்தான் நமக்கு சுவாமி. அவரை சரணடைந்து விட்டால் பரமகதி மேலான மேலான தாய். மேலானவர் யார்? அவரை விட மேலானவர் யார்? தாய் தந்தையரை விட மேலானவர், நமக்கு நன்மை செய்பவர், எல்லாம் அவரே சொல்றார். நான் தான் எனக்கு சரணன் வந்துன்னு சொல்றாரு இல்லையா? அப்ப வேறு ஒன்றையும், இந்த ஒரே எண்ணம் தான் நமக்கு இருக்கணும். வேறு எண்ணத்துடன் பகவான் அனன்யமான பக்தின்னு சொல்றார். அதுக்கு தான் சோ அந்த அனன்யத்தை சொல்றதுன்னா அனன்யமான பக்தி. அது எப்படி வரும்னாக்கா, ஒரு இவ்விதமான யோகத்தினால் பகவானிடம் மட்டும் அசையாத முழுமையான தூய அன்பு, இதை விடாது பகவானை பற்றி பஜனை தியானம் இது செய்து கொண்டே இருப்பதுதான் அந்த அனன்ய யோகத்தோடைய வழி. அப்படி வந்ததுன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி யூ பிகம் லைக் அமலன் ஆதிபிரான்ல திருப்பானாழ்வார் அப்படிதான் அந்த இந்த 7 பிரகாரத்தையும் முனிவாகன் மேல போற ஒரு பிரகாரத்தையும் பெருமாள் அப்படியே முகத்திலேருந்து சொல்லிட்டே வரார். ஃபைனலா என்ன ஆகுது, பகவான் கிட்ட போனவன பூரா பகவானையும் பாடிட்டு அப்படியே ஐக்கியம் ஆயிடுறார். அதாவது அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பக்தி எப்படின்னா இட்ஸ் கால்டு அனன்ய பக்தி. ஸோ நம்ம எல்லாரும் நமக்குடைய ஆச்சாரியார் நடராஜன் அண்ணா மூலமா we are able to channelize our thinking. So thinking is in action. So we are able to do certain action which are channelized towards Bhakti Yogam and Jnana Yogam. We should be definitely graduating ourselves from a state to state, and we should be able to have that vairakyam, sthira nambikai, that we are able to get over this earthly desires and all this, I think, and see mamakaramai, ahankaramai, mamakaramai தாண்டி அந்த அனன்ய பக்தியில போவோம். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்டேட்டஸ்க்கு கொண்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கா நமக்கு பரமாச்சாரியாலா நமக்கு பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கா. With this context, I would say that we have good gurus who will be antakaraga, the guru who is going to remove our antakaraga. With all this, I will say we are in a righteous path of spiritual seeking. With this, I thank Anna for the opportunity.
Thank you, Srinivasan. Wonderful explanation. Now time is over. So next week, next Thursday, we are continuing with the same session, because there are a lot of other people who are interested to give their exposition. So we will continue next Thursday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. It was a very interesting